Today, we're going to break down and kind of demystify what I think is one of the more confusing products made from wild fruit. So, this is all about Aronia berry juice. We're going to go over what it is, how to make it, and a little taste test at the end. First and foremost, Aronia berry juice can be one of two things. It can be cold pressed juice, which is what you will get if you buy it online, or if you're a forager, you will probably know it as simply berries pureed with water. This is the cold pressed juice, and you can see it's as thick as balsamic vinegar. Just like balsamic reduction or aged balsamic, it is a wonderful fruity condiment you can add to just about anything. One of the most important distinctions between this and many other juices is that it's sold as a health supplement because of the anthocyanins and antioxidants. Those are denatured by heat, so it's always packed with ice and it's always cold pressed. What you do with it is you add a few teaspoons to water and you mix it up and drink it, and it's kind of like taking vitamins. Cold extracted Aronia juice, this is how foragers will make it. This is how I make it with wild berries that I pick. Cultivated berries like the Viking cultivar that's been mixed with roanberry genetics are also made into juice. They have a slightly milder flavor than truly wild fruit. Just puree the berries with water, and then I pour them into a container and I refrigerate them overnight. The next day, after they're infused, I just squeeze out the juice. You'll want to wear gloves unless you want what I call crypt hands. Not as bad as black walnuts, but it'll still stay on your skin for a few days. I also like to make ice cubes, as you can see here, great added to drinks. Don't cook the fruit in water and make juice. It gives you a much richer color, darker color, but it exacerbates the astringency. I also made some with powder because Aronia berry powder is another thing you can buy. I also make my own. I wouldn't probably do this again because it just took way too many berries to get a strong flavor, but you can use this as a coloring agent and it is good to add a beautiful purple color to all kinds of things. So one of the things that I like to make with my juice is agua fresca. This is basically a riff on the prickly pear mixed with water, agave syrup, lime juice, and salt. You can use all kinds of different fruits here. Mix and match some of your favorites. You don't have to use water. You could use blueberry juice or pomegranate juice. Add some lime juice, salt, a little bit of maple syrup, or your favorite sweetener to taste. Wonderful. And also, if you try one thing, you need to try my Aronia cider. Sam Thayer gave me this idea because he will press his apples with fresh Aronia berries. You can make a very good approximation by just pureeing the berries cold with some apple cider. Just like before, we just strain that in cheesecloth, and this adds just such a nice color and flavor to apple cider or other fruit juices. Just a really cool way to use the fruit and to make an interesting drink. Now, a little taste test. Time to try some Aronia juice. I have a couple different versions here. One that was made with just the fresh berries that I'm going to outline on the recipe on my website. Then I have one made out of dried Aronias. Then I have a cooked version. Then I have the concentrate from Super Berries. And big props to them for sponsoring this video. They also make these t-shirts that are made with the berries as a dye because the Native Americans used to use the fruit as a dye. First, I'm going to try just the concentrate. And you can see the concentrate here. This is Aronia juice. Aronia juice is basically a syrup when it's pressed from the fruit. It's thick like balsamic vinegar, like really aged balsamic vinegar. It's astringent, makes your mouth pucker a little bit, but there's this really deep berry flavor that comes across that's, to me, is the true flavor of Aronia. Just this really dark, deep, woodsy berry flavor. Come to think of it, you could use the juice like you would balsamic vinegar. Man, that's so special. Next, the fresh berries that were just pureed with water. It's less astringent, obviously much more mild, because the concentrate you can dilute basically to make something like this. It's good. It's super mild. Next, dried powdered Aronia soaked in water overnight. Slightly less astringency, a little bit more flavor than the fresh, but it also used a lot more dried berries than I used fresh berries in that one. Now the cooked Aronia juice. That one is my least favorite. So the cooked berries, they get much more astringent when you cook them. And the cold extraction is just really the way to go here. Now mix a little bit in water, just like a teaspoon. So after you mix the concentrate in water, it basically tastes like the fresh juice that I made, which is just berries covered in juice and pureed. It's fine. One of the coolest parts is just the color. I love this color. It makes anything look really attractive. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It doesn't have a strong flavor like raspberries or anything like that, but it's not offensive. The moral of the story here is that Aronia juice is a concentrate that you're going to add to water or something to dilute it. And there you go. Now you know the differences between cold-pressed Aronia juice and Aronia juice that foragers will make when people talk about the plant. The full recipe and everything is linked at the top of the video description on my website. Thanks for watching.